Okay, so everybody's muted. All right, so we're going to start laying down and then eventually I'm going to come up to seated, but might as well warm up everything before we come up to seated in a laying down position. So if you need anything to place behind your head, go ahead, grab a pillow, grab towels, rolled up, anything that you need to raise your head with. And then let's look for our alignment. Make sure everything is on silent here. Okay, all right. So on our backs, okay, so make sure that nose, sternum, pubic bone, and belly button are all in one line. Okay. And then your heels are in alignment with your sit bones. Your knees are, the midline of the knees are just inside the hip bones or in alignment with the hip bones. Toes are facing forward. Good. And then just find your breath to the back and side of the ribs, up the ribs. So you go back, side, and then the rib cage and the torso can expand as well. Breathe out. So you can do about 3 breaths just to get the breathing going. And when you're ready, after the 3rd breath or whatever you're comfortable with, you can start activating the deep core. Okay, so I'm going to do it on the next breath. Your arms can be on the floor with the elbows bent. It can be straight with the scapulas running away from your ears, down your back to your bum, with the hands reaching to your feet. And if you want to try to get that deep core going, you can put your fingertips just inside the hip bone. So you're going to breathe to the back and side of the ribs. And then activate the pelvic floor, lift it, sink the pubic bone and the belly button, hug your ribs, and really solidify that rib cage into the mat. Breathe in, back, side, and up of the ribs with some torso breath if you need as well. Breathe out, pull the pelvic floor, sink the abdominals, hug the ribs. Okay, so the fingertips just inside the hip bone may help you try to pull the abdominals away from your fingers, not towards the fingers. Keep going and give me about 4 more. Keep lengthening the body also on that breath in. Breathe out. Activate the pelvic floor. So pubic bone towards tailbone. Sink the abdominals, hug the ribs. And now make sure that both sides of your abdominal walls are activating the same. If not, you may tap the side that doesn't activate. Maybe from the sit bone, lift and scoop from there to make sure it activates, okay? So if you have 1 more breath to do, go ahead and do that. And then we're gonna do our pelvic tilts. We haven't done them in a while. So we're gonna breathe out. When you activate the pelvic floor and the abdominals, you're gonna tip the pelvis. And if you have a bowl of water on the pelvis, you're gonna spill water between or just above your pubic belly button. Then you're gonna breathe in, lengthen the spine, arch just the low back after you lengthen, and spill water between your toes. So your hip bones on the breath out, you're gonna scoop and lift them up towards the ribs inside the rib cage. On the breath in, you're gonna move your hip bones and pubic bone away from the rib cage. Again, try to keep the rib cage stable and just move through that pelvis. And the ribs will stay still. So the movement is not that big. If you feel comfortable enough to, when you dip the pelvis forward, continue and arch in the back a little bit more, you can. Make sure the shoulders and scapula stay down. And then when you imprint, you need to bring everything back in. Make sure it doesn't bother your back. I'm happy with just the small movement of the pelvis. So activate the deep core to imprint. Activate the low back to arch and dip forward. Good. And then after you've arched your back, let's just release the pelvis, don't imprint, and bring it back to where it's comfortable for you today. Let's go side to side a little bit. So take your hands on your hips, push the pelvis away from you, okay, right at the crease here of the legs, press away, and let's lift the pelvis up and bring the other one down. So my side that's closer to you is lengthening and lifting, the other side is pressing down. Then I lengthen again, I bring this side down, and I lengthen and I lift the opposite side. Ribs are not doing anything. The legs are just reaching forward as you lift, not collapsing to the side. Okay? Breathe in, lengthen, breathe out, lift. Breathe in, lengthen and down, breathe out, keep lengthening it up. So my left side is very tight. I keep trying to rotate a little bit more, my knee reaching forward to keep lengthening, and then I come down. This side that's closer to the camera is much more mobile, so I don't need to do too much effort. Good. Try to even it out and do about 2 or 3 more. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, lift. Nice. And bring it in. Let's just do 2 to 3 circles each direction, starting with the imprint. So breathe out, imprint. Rotate the pelvis either towards the camera or to your right side, whatever works. Then arch the back, dip water forward, rotate to the opposite side, imprinting, bringing it back to center. So it's a breath in to rotate to the side and forward, breath out to go to the other side, imprint from the whole side of the body and bring it here. Last one for me. This is going to be my number 3. Keep that tailbone and sit bones forward, reverse. Lengthen. Make it as much as it's comfortable for you. You can make it really small. Remember, you're pivoting on that tailbone. Finish your last one. Good. And then release the pelvis. Just imprint and arch a little bit, wiggle, and find your neutral for today. Okay, so I tucked my pelvis in and then I lengthen into my neutral, chest and ribs down, arms reaching to the feet. Breathe in and out, activate the core. We're going into marching. So breathe out, activate, stabilize. Stabilize the side away from the camera and float the leg closer to the camera. Breathe out, scoop, and then the leg goes down, toe heel to land. Stabilize the leg that just went up, float the other one up. The knee can go as far back as you don't lose the pelvis, meaning don't imprint to bring the leg back. Keep the tailbone heavy, the sit bones reaching long. Always stabilize first before you lift. Always activate the core first before you drop the leg down. Stabilize the side that just moved, so the other one goes up. So one more is going to make it even for me. If you need to make it even for you, go ahead and do that. Keep the legs down when you're done. And let's bring the arms to the ceiling to crunch. Keep your neutral. So now we're moving just from the rib cage to come up. You may support your head if you need to. Bring your hands next to your side if you need to, or arms straight up to the ceiling. So breathe out. Scoop the core in first. And then press to the back of the ribs to crunch. Roll the head, look between your thighs, reach the hands, open the chest. Roll down, controlling. Don't let that rib pop up. Now, for those of you who want to challenge or warm up the arms a bit, you can go further back than just chest level. Breathe out, scoop and lift. Remember that you should be feeling both sides of the abdominals. We're not imprinting or squeezing the butt. We're just rolling. Keep that rib cage pressing into the mat, and then challenge with the arm if you need to. Scoop. Don't let the belly pop up to the ceiling while you're crunching. So no belly up, scoop it in. I know we all have an extra layer going on with Corona in winter. So it's okay if a little bit of the extra layer pops up, but not the abdominals. All right, So we're gonna add 4 marches to this, alternating. Breathe out, crunch and march without changing the position of the pelvis. So keep the opposite side nice and stable. Stabilize the side that is going to stay down. Lengthen. Don't change anything from the pelvis. Last one. Nice. Keep the hands down. Bring it down. Imprint. March the legs up first to do toe taps. If you cannot do toe taps, just keep doing the marches. So imprint, one leg goes up. Imprint again, the other leg goes up. Imprint. For those who are a bit more advanced, if you want to work in neutral, go for it. So your low back is going to be slightly off the mat, not like when the legs are on the floor. Legs can be away from you if you want to challenge, or start a little closer for more support. Single leg toe taps when you're ready. First, activate the core, and then the leg relaxes only as far as you can keep the same stability. Breathe out, relax the leg. And up. So my first few, I can't reach. Keep the arms pressing down. And the abdominals always hollowing as long as the leg is in movement. Good. Last one, or not. See if you're even. Then you're going to hug your knees and rest for a second. Good. Rock side to side. All right. So we're going to add crunches to this. But first, we're going to do crunches with just the legs together. Then we're going to add the toe taps. Again, the option of doing with the marches is also fine. Okay? And the arm position is the same, either here supporting the head or up here. So legs go back up. This time I would like the inner thighs together if it's appropriate. Okay? And we're going to crunch without moving the knees. So same thing, knees back if you need that support, knees away if you need challenge. Scoop, crunch, reach, and down. So let's try to do 4 to 6, and then add the toe taps 4 to 6. Watch that the shoulders are wide, the arms and the scapulas are reaching away from your body. So for challenges, the leg stays away and the arm can go further back. So I'm gonna do one more. And then I'm gonna add my toe taps to this. So I'm gonna crunch, toe tap, come back, leg goes back. I like to keep my inner thighs together to give me more stability, and then I crunch, still keeping that midline of the body working when the other leg goes down. Good, and that's 4. If you need to rest, hug the knees and rock side to side. Nice work. Okay, so this is a prep for the teaser that we're gonna do later, okay? Now, bring the legs down and let's do some bridges to also release the back to get us into the more advanced stuff that we're gonna do later on today. So today I'm going to do more advanced prep stuff, okay? So heels on the ground, toes reaching forward. And then we're gonna go into our bridges, arms reaching, and then from the crown of the head, lengthen all the way to your tailbone. And let's do a half bridge first, okay? So press your heels into the ground until you feel your glutes activate. Breathe out, scoop the abdominals, imprint, and roll the pelvis off the ground, really pressing into the heels, really scooping the abdominals, reaching the legs forward to keep the alignment of the entire pelvis and back. And then scoop the abdominals, roll down controlled. Okay, so we're trying to release the low back. So let's do 3 to 4 of those. Breathe out, scoop, press into the heels first, activate the glutes, then pull the pelvic floor, pull the abdominals, imprint. Now keep pressing into the heels to lift the tailbone, the low back, reach the leg forward. Try not to go too much higher than your ribs. And then breathe out, scoop the belly and roll. My back is pretty tight and it's just coming out. So breathe out. Press into the heels, squeeze the glutes, roll. So now I'm trying to keep my ribs down a bit more and try to just stretch my back. My legs are reaching long, my sit bone, my tailbone, everything is reaching to get to try to lengthen my really tight spine. Okay, so let's try to go a little higher. And so everything is about, guesstimate numbers. Let's try to do great about 6 bridges. Okay, 6 bridges, they're really, really good. So breathe in to lengthen, go through the first few steps. Scoop the abdominals, imprint, pressing into the heels, activate the glutes, and then roll up. One bone at a time. Try to feel them coming up. And as they come up, you're really reaching those legs. Scapulas and arms are pressing down, chest and ribs are connecting down and towards your pelvis. So we don't arch the back, we only go as far as we can maintain that neutral. Breathe in to lengthen everything. Breathe out from the chest, relax it. Then from the esophagus, come down. From the highest point, keeping the chest still open as you bring one bone at a time back down. Oh, that always feels so yummy. At your own pace, okay? A good up to 6. Breathe out, scoop. Keep the tailbone lengthening all the way through the spine to the crown of the head. When you start your bridge, you should already start with that spine as long as you can. Good. Peel one bone at a time. Shoulders pressing down, scapulas, arms, chest, ribs, everything down. Lengthen. And then roll. Feel the entire back as long as you can. We should be able to be getting a little bit higher and to mobilize the spine a little bit more. My back is always so tight on the right, I don't know where I am. Good. Nice work. Nice, Tamara. That looks really good. And you're not extending. Good. When you're up, look at your pelvis if you need to, and make sure that it's leveled, yeah? Not one side dropping. If you find that it's dropping, lift that side up. Adjust. Okay, just in case you're dropping the pelvis. Is that about 6? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna go back up and let's do our marches. We haven't done that in a while too. So we're gonna stay up and it's up to you, anywhere between 6 to 10 marches, okay? So find a position that you are stable. It can be as low as just a fist width between the floor and the pelvis. It can be up as high as you feel you can stabilize. Use the arms on the ground. That's going to be a huge stabilizer. Make sure your knees are forward. And then when you're ready, so I'm going to lift my leg that's closer to you. I'm going to lift this hip up. And then this marches with thing, yeah? So it stays up. If you're dropping, just bring the pelvis down, stabilize at a lower level, and then march the legs up. Good. Keep your arms pressing on the ground. Keep your chest stable. Keep your knees reaching forward and your butt as high as you can maintain stability. Keep those ribs really hugging, huh? So breath in to march up. Breath out. Keep those abdominals lifted and that tailbone lengthen. I lost count, but I guess it's 10. And then roll down nice and controlled. Cross the leg and stretch. So bring it up to a number 4. Good, and breathe here. Pull a little bit more. By the way, my glutes are sore from the last class. Still sore. Cross the other leg and pull. So the first position, leg lift and the banana got me really sore. Okay, bring the legs down. Okay, I think we're ready to go. We have a cat guest today. We're ready to go into the single legs or the teaser prep, okay? So the reason I told you to maybe bring a band is that if you cannot come up into your teaser prep, you can use the band, but I think most of you can. So I have one leg straight. It can definitely be bent, especially when you come up and if you don't have the flexibility on the hamstring. My inner thighs are together to give me more stability. You can bring this leg slightly forward. It will help you. Okay, arms are going to start here. We're going to take it back. And then we're going to roll up, reaching to that leg or the foot that's up there. So you're going to breathe out, press into the ground. Come up, lengthen the spine, reach your arms forward towards your toes. Breathe out, come back down. Okay, so usually the first 1 or 2 were stiff too, even though we did the bridges, okay? So if that doesn't work for you, this is where you can have the band, okay, and the band is gonna help you come up. And then you can be here or with the knee band and here, if you need the band. If not, continue. So let's try to do about 4 to 5 on each side. So breathe out, scoop, pull the abdominals, roll up, reach, keep squeezing the leg, the inner thighs together, and then control it down. Okay, your back should be nice and released. Arms go back up. Now, another thing is you can round the arms, scoop and lift using the momentum of the arms. Good, ladies. Nice, Rasha, amazing. The slower you go up, the harder work it is. Good job. Remember, you can bend the knee. You may also put the hand behind the side to help you. If you're done with your 4 to 5, go to the other side. Inner thighs together, leg reaching, arm here. You can circle the arms for some momentum or bring it straight up. Reach, breathe out, scoop, control it down. Reach the arms only as far as your shoulders are okay with it. Breathe in, breathe out. Zip the inner thigh, roll and reach. Keep that pelvis always slightly rounded. When you come up, we don't arch the back. So you keep the pelvis slightly rounded. Try to lengthen the rest of the spine, reaching the arm. Good. Maybe this is 5, I don't know. Good. Bring the leg down. Nice, and just relax it. If you need to straighten the leg a little bit, you can because of the hip flexors working pretty hard. So for those of you who are a bit more advanced, if you like to, we can try to come up into the teaser. The bent knee version maybe today. I wasn't going to do it, but we can. All right, so if you march the legs up, bring the inner thighs together. I know we do a lot of these in the trapeze tower, but let's try it. Now for this one, if you want to circle the arms around to give you some momentum, you can. Just please be very careful when you come up into your teaser that you're not gonna arch, okay? So keep that pelvis rounded and just reach, you can reach the hand here, lengthen the upper. So you, from the rib cage, you're gonna lift the ribs off the pelvis, but the pelvis stays slightly rounded. And then roll down, control, and try to come up again. Okay, for those who don't want to try that, you can either rest or go back into the bent leg, one leg down, one leg up version. Okay, so over here, I know that's going to come out a bit more advanced. So round the pelvis, come up. You can reach the hands to the feet again here. Breathe out. And don't forget that you can always use your hands back here. So one help is circling the arms, the other one will be grabbing the leg and then lifting from here, keeping the pelvis up, rounded, control down. Okay, so all of these are nice options. The slower up you go and down, the harder it is. Lengthen. Good. And then try one more if you're okay with it. And hug your knees here. We have lots of visitors here today. Good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is a roll over prep, okay? We're going to be working our lower abdominals, and I'm gonna give you a nice, easy prep. We're gonna march the legs up. We're gonna keep the legs bent. Arms are gonna work a little bit hard to help you. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll the pelvis off the mat, but we're gonna try to, almost like you're bridging up, yeah? Like you're doing this, is what we're gonna do to try to bring the legs or the knees to the shoulders. Breathe out, scoop the abdominals, bring the knees to the shoulders and back down. Your arms are helping you. Now, how much you're gonna lift that pelvis off the mat doesn't really matter. Can be the size of a pea, could be a zaytune, an olive, can be bigger and bigger, okay? Doesn't matter. Try not to use the momentum of the legs and try not to use your hip flexors too much. Try to use the deep abdominal. So inner thighs together if you can. Pull the pelvic floor, scoop that belly, and try to roll the pelvis off the ground. It's okay if your arms help you. Okay? Good. Keep your knees towards your chest. So try to give me anywhere between 6 to 8. We've already done about 2 to 3. Try not to kick the leg back. Keep your heels closer to your glutes. 5. 6. Now, rest for a second, and if you'd like to try it with the legs a little bit straighter, we're gonna go more towards the ceiling, okay? Fully straight is also fine, and we're gonna try to go now straight up and down, okay? Still trying to lift with the lower abdominals. Now, the more straight to the ceiling you get, the easier it is. The further back you go is, further back you go is a little easier, straight up to the ceiling is a little harder. Again, doesn't have to be a big movement. Try to lift from the lower abdominals and try to give me another 6 to 8, okay? So use the scapulas and the shoulders on the mat. Don't lift the shoulders to the ears. 3. I know a lot of you already started before me. 4. And 5. 6. Good. If you want to do 2 more, go for it. Lower abdominals with arms helping. Nice. Hug your knees side to side. Good. So if your hip flexors are bothering you, you can straighten the legs again. Otherwise, now we're going to do another prep. We're going to do the corkscrew prep, okay? Modified corkscrew since we're already in this position. So now legs again can be straight to slightly bent, okay? Whatever is comfortable for you. For those of you with low back issues, just bend it more, okay? Because we're going to be rolling side to side. The chest and the ribs need to be down. We're not doing inversions like the other one. So please support your head if you feel like you need more help with your low back staying on the ground. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna draw semicircles. I'm gonna drop my legs to my right. My left pelvis comes off, okay? My ribs, not as much. Then I'm gonna scoop my abdominals, bring my legs down and around to the other side towards you. Now my opposite side comes off the ground, but not my shoulders. And then I bring it back to starting position. Okay, I'll try to face you so you see what it looks like. So watch here. So I'm gonna drop it to my right. This pelvis comes off the ground. Then I scoop my abdominals and I draw a semicircle towards the midline of my body, all the way to the other side. This comes off the ground, and then we come back to parallel. The alignment of my feet do not change, okay? The big toes stay in the same height. And again, we're gonna drop. So let's do right to left, shoulders stay down, scoop the abdominals like you're imprinting, semicircles all the way to the other side, opposite side comes up, and then you come back. Now let's do the same thing to the left. Keep your arms on the ground to help you. So your knees bent are totally fine, just drop, keep your sit bones long, semicircle with the knees to the opposite side, pelvis come up, and here. Be careful with your low back, please, and make it really small so you can make your circle just as big as a tennis ball. So what we're gonna do is 3 starting to the right, 3 starting to the left, alternating, a total of 6. Okay, but try to alternate each time. So if we start to the left, the next one, you start to the right. So be careful because your hip flexors are going to be working really hard. And if your abdominals are not, your hip flexors will take over. So make sure that your abs are working. Lift those abdominals, circle. Good job. And hug your knees. Side to side. Okay, so let's try to do an arm work and open up the hips that we just worked a lot. So your knees can be bent or straight, and we're gonna come up into a roll up. That's how we're gonna come up to seated. If you cannot come up to seated rolling up, roll to the side, push yourself up into a seated position. So either legs straight or bent to roll up. Arms here, it can start all the way back, and let's roll up to a seated position. So lift the head, the arms, press into the back of the ribs, press the legs down, come up and straighten the spine. We're gonna go into that back plank that we did last time. So bend your knees, bring your feet to the ground, okay? Then your hands are gonna come back here. Not many of you will be able to do this if you have arm shoulder problems. If you can't, you're gonna go back onto your back and you're gonna bridge for me, okay? But do a flat bridge instead of a rolling bridge. Otherwise, for those who can do this, remember we did with the palms facing us, but you can do with the palms open, you can do with the palms to the back. Usually my wrists are unhappy here, but once I come up, they're happier. So I actually start here with my elbows slightly bent. This becomes a little bit less uncomfortable when I come up. So remember that we did this, shoulders down, press into the hands, lift, pull the shoulders down, lift the chest, Press. Now pull the scapulars down, chest up. Bring your feet close to you. Round your pelvis like we're bridging up. Keep the scapulars down, chest open, and come up. Squeeze the glutes. And then bring the pelvis down. Try not to lose the scapula. If you lost it, then press again, pull the scapulars, open the chest, and go. Let's go up. 2. Squeeze the glutes. Don't push with the low back. You're pushing with the bottom of the glutes. And go. Press, shoulders down, chest open, looking straight ahead, and push. And down. And push. 4. Knees forward and down. On 5, we're going to try to stay up and march. So we're going to stay here, and we're going to try to march without dropping the pelvis or rotating. Press into the hands. If you can't, just bring the pelvis lower and do it here, okay? Otherwise, your glutes are pressing, your chest are open, shoulders away from the ears, and try to do about 6. My hamstrings are cramping. Last 2. Last 1. And come down. Straighten the legs. Woo! Bring the arms forward. Rotate the wrists. And if you want to, just bring the hands here and press the feet against your hands. Scoop the belly, stretch. All right. Nice. Let's turn sideways. And let's do a little bit of hips and side planks, and then we'll go to the other sides. Okay, so in this position, let's see how we're doing on time. Very good. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to do kicks and we're going to do circles, okay? Now, last time we also came up into the more advanced position, but let me show you this one first. So remember, head, shoulder, hips aligned with the feet. Then the feet come slightly forward for more stability, okay? Then make sure your shoulders are stacked and your hips are stacked on top of each other. For those of you who want to make it a little bit more difficult, you can come up. You may keep the ribs down if you want, but you have to keep it active down, okay? If you want it harder, you lift. You may also come into the elbow if you want to make it even harder, okay? Then the arm can be here, here, or here. So I'm going to continue what we did last time with the here. So just make sure you're not collapsing, okay? This ear needs to go up to the ceiling. The neck needs to go up to the ceiling. If the rib stays down, your mouse hole, your waist is still trying to lift off the ground, not collapse into the ground. So there's some work happening here, okay? So try to lift that up with the ribs touching. Lift this ear to the ceiling and this neck. Now from here, we're going to lift this leg and reach. And that's what's going to help us even more get that waist off the ground here. Reach, 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 reach. And then lengthen the tailbone and tuck slightly to where you feel your abdominals and your ribs connect. From here, we're going to breathe in, kick forward twice. Breathe out, point your toes, lift the abdominals, and reach that leg back. Now, if you want to work balance, this top arm doesn't touch the mat. Reach, 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 okay? We're going to do 8. Reach away, 4. 5. My waist just loves coming up. I can't relax it. 6. 7. Make sure you're not folding forward and you're not arching when you go back. Nothing moves except from the hip. Is that 8? I think so, yeah. So keep it here, lengthen, and we're gonna go for circles. So go forward, go up, lift the abdominals, go back, bring it down and in. Again, if you're working the core stability, this arm is not on the floor. You're trying to do everything with the core stabilizing you. So I want to show you this way so you can see. This leg is slightly forward still to help you stabilize, yeah? So we go forward, up and back, and there's no movement on the pelvis and the back. 4. And I'm reaching my toe like I want to touch my TV. We're doing 6, and then we're going to reverse. So this is 5, and this is 6. Hold, and back we go without arching the back, just opening the hips. Up, forward, and down, no movement. 2. Good. 3. 4. Keep that core working. Lift that neck and ear and mouse hole. Last one for me. This is 6. Good. Whoa. And stretch. So we did 8, 6, and 6. Nice. Now we're going to come up. So you're going to press yourself up, and this hand is going to be here. Now we're going to do seated twist, which is a little bit challenging. There's really not much you can do if you cannot use your arm. And if you want to do a plank, you can try to do it from this position. Sorry, on the elbow, I meant. But if you can't use your arm at all, then you can't do this exercise. Okay, so hand is going to be here. The bottom leg is going to stay bent. We were here. The top leg is going to come up, and it's going to come in front of the back of this bottom leg. The foot is in front. Okay, so you're in this position. We're going to put the elbow here to rest. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to lift the pelvis, my butt straight up to the ceiling, and this hand is going to reach to my back leg. So I'm going to go up and twist. So pressing into this leg and the back leg, I'm going to lift. Then I'm going to twist my butt to the ceiling and reach my hand to that back leg. Okay? It does require flexibility here. So if your knee needs to stand bent, that's fine. Then you untwist and you come back to sitting position. Okay? So your pivot leg is this front leg. This back leg is helping you twist. Okay, I'm not going to go into the more advanced versions of this because this is pretty complicated enough. If you need to be on the elbow, you're doing the same thing. Lift, lift, twist, reach, come back, come down. All right? If you cannot lift all the way, guess what? Just lift. Okay? Just lift and come back down. And slowly we go into it. So again, this bent knee is your main leg with this hand. Hands, hips, feet are in one line. Let's go. Press into this leg and this hand, shoulders away from the ears. Lift the pelvis. Now this leg, rotate, reach your butt to the ceiling and reach your hand back to that back leg. Now, if you're more advanced, this back leg can be loose. Then you come down, bending, controlling, sit, and elbow here. Okay? So let me watch you. That's if you can come into the camera more, I can see you a little bit better. Nice, Tamara. So the leg that's in front, try to straighten it. The leg that's in front, straighten the front leg. Yes. Keep the other leg on the floor. There you go. That's lovely. So I need you to focus on this front leg. So if you were not to use the back leg, this is the leg that's lifting you and rotating. So your butt's to the ceiling, and then you're reaching to that back leg, okay? Keep it on the ground, but try not to keep the front leg bent. This is the one pushing. There you go, Tamara. Good. Nice, Rasha. That's it. Watch your shoulder stability. So we're doing 4 to 6. I know 4 is a lot. So do what you can. So if you can do 1 or 2 more, try to work on it. Tamara, lovely. Good, Rasha. Let's go. Lift, rotate, reach. Now stay there and see if that back leg can lift off. Push with the hand, push with the leg to the ceiling. Good, there you go. I know, it's a lot of weight on your wrist, okay? So from here, let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So just change everything. And we're gonna reverse all the movements that we did on that side, on this side. Okay, so hands, hip, and legs. This leg is in front, the other leg is almost hooking in the back. Okay, so this is maybe your stronger arm too. Press, shoulders and scapula down. So here, now just try to lift. Can we do it? Yeah. So press into the hand and press on this leg. Those are the ones lifting you. When you're ready, you're going to rotate the knees to the floor, the butt to the ceiling, and that arm is reaching towards the back leg. When you feel comfortable, you can try to see if you can take that back leg off. Then everything comes back and starting position. Okay, so we did about, I don't know, 4 to 6 on the other side. Let's keep both legs on the ground. Keep both legs on the ground, yeah? So when you come up, look, Rasha, this back leg, look, they're both on the ground. No problem. And reach this way. And then rotate both, okay? Like you're doing a plank. Straighten that front leg, Tamara. Good. So your hand is reaching to the back leg. I want to touch my big toe on my back leg. My hand is back here on that back leg. Yes. There you go. Nice, Rasha. That looks great. Okay, and those of you who are on your elbow because of wrists, same thing. You can keep both feet down, reach, or not straighten all the way. Okay, you can still be here, maybe just twist a little bit. Find what's convenient for your body. Was that 6? Good, so let's reverse everything. Now we go to the side. Okay, so that's a line, head, shoulders, hips, bring the legs forward a little bit. And then if your arm is gonna stay down here, great. If you're gonna come here and rest the ribs, fine, just lift through that armpit. And then when you lift the leg and reach, that's when your bottom waist is gonna come off the ground. My whole waist comes off the ground. Actually, on this one, I'm gonna try to keep it down. So let's lift that top leg and reach away and get that waist off the ground. Okay, ear to ceiling, neck to ceiling. And then tuck your pelvis, connect with the ribs and get the front of the core working. Let's kick for 8. So remember to, when you kick, not let the pelvis round. Breathe in, kick. Breathe out, point. Lift the abdominals and open the hip without the low back arching. 2. If you don't want to use your arm and you want to work the core for stability in the bottom leg, you can do that, or front arm here. 4. Point and reach. 5. Lift the abdominals, reach the leg and reach. 6. 7. And 8. Good. Circles, forward, up, open, back, and down. Try not to twist the body. 2. 3. Don't move anything. Just make that circle as big as everything stays still. 4. The leg is rotating the hip joint, so it's okay if the toes go off. And then back and come down as we go here. 5 or 6. Okay, let's reverse it if that's 6. Breathe out. Lift the abdominals, go back. Up and forward. 2. 3. 4. Don't let that back move. 5. Keep the abdominals tight. And 6. Back. Good job. Drop that leg. Good. So from here, we're going to straighten that leg And we're gonna come to the belly. And we're gonna go into our swan. So from this position, we've worked both sides, everything, yeah? Legs for me are gonna be sit bone width. You can be hip width. You can be legs together. Hands are gonna be in line with your head, about 45 degrees here. Sorry, 90 degrees. Pull the shoulders and scapulas down. Lift your abdominals and lengthen that tailbone. On the breath in, lengthen, shoulders down, neck up. Breathe out, pull the abdominals and try to shift the chest forward and up without changing anything on your low back, and bring it back down. And again, breathe in to lengthen. Breathe out, shoulders down, chest forward and up. Use that upper back. The scapulas keep gliding down. You're looking just in front, and that upper back is lifting you. The legs and the tailbone are reaching back the whole time. Good. Give me 4 more. Breathe in to lengthen. Breathe out, scoop the abdominals. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, pull the belly in, come down. So if you're okay with all this, keep the shoulders wide and keep the scapulas coming down your back towards your butt as you come up. Shoulders down and chest nice and open. Lasha, open your hands a little bit wider. It's too close to you. Yeah? Now, if you want, after you come up, nice long line, and you can keep your belly tight. Keep the shoulders coming down. You can come up a little higher and then come back down. As long as you're not lifting from your arms and you're not lifting from your low back. Okay, it's your back doing most of the work. The hands are just helping you. Shoulders down, chest shifted forward. As you come up, don't lift the chest too much. Shift forward and up. Keep the tailbone lengthening along with the legs back. Keep the spine as long as you can. Keep shifting that chest forward. Good. No pressure on the low back. Abs really tight. Upper back doing the work. Arm just helping you come up. Nice job. Finish 1 more. Good. Make a pillow with your hands and rest. Okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to keep one hand on your forehead and just look at the camera if you can. You're going to bend the knee closer to your camera, grab it with your hand, round the pelvis, so tuck your tailbone and pull that heel towards your glutes. Okay, so make sure your back is not collapsing, your butt is going to the ceiling. You are tucking your tailbone. So scoop the belly off the ground, round the tailbone, and try to pull. Also, don't allow your knee to come out. Keep your legs together maybe and see if that's okay. Good. Release. Bring your hand in and pull the other leg. You can rotate the head to that leg and scoop the belly round, tuck your tailbone, legs together, and then pull that heel towards your glutes. Keep that pelvis tucked in. Keep lifting the abdominals and rounding the pelvis. Don't collapse. Thighs as close together as you can, heel reaching towards your butt. Pull it with your arm. Don't stress your shoulders. And release. Good. Throw your toes. Bring your hands next to your chest and shoulders. excuse me, we're going to come up into a plank. So roll the shoulders back. If you want to come up into your knees, go ahead, push yourself to knees. If you're going to come up off the knees, you already start with the knees off the ground. Okay, so whatever you decide, pull the shoulders away from the ears, lift the abdominals off the ground and let those abdominals lift you. Shoulders away from the ears, and here, rock your heels back, push yourself back towards your heels, you feel a stretch in your calves, and then bring it forward. Breathe out, push. If you're on your knees, it's the same. Reach back, okay, and forward. So the pelvis is gonna come up a little bit, your butt's gonna reach to the heels, pelvis comes down. If you're on your elbow, you can do the same thing or off the knees. I hope most of you can do it off your knees. Same thing, push the heel, come forward over your shoulders. So try to rock forward and back about 10 times, then go back and stretch. Nice and slow. So breathe in to go back, breathe out, come forward. Make sure your wrist can handle. If it cannot, look, start with your hands forward more and go back. And when you come forward, you're going to be just a little bit behind your wrist, and that should hurt less. Press your fingertips on the ground, head up, Lesha. So push the back of your neck to the ceiling, back of the head to the ceiling, and rock. If you can do more than 10, great. Go for 12, 14, 20, I don't know. Don't lose your back, don't lose your shoulders, wrap your scapulas around, and make sure shoulders are wide, the whole plank deal. Okay, when you're done, knees come down, open, toes together, and stretch back. Keep reaching the arm forward, really reach your sit bones back, relax your head, and press your chest down. And then roll the pelvis and come up to a seated position. Roll your shoulders back and let's stretch the arms a little bit. Feet however it's comfortable for you. Shoulder down, pull the arm across. Nice work, ladies. Good. Release. And other arm, pull shoulder down, pull across. And release the arm, roll the shoulders. So if you need to do number 4 stretch, you guys can do a pigeon stretch, okay, here, or you can lay on your back. I'm gonna have to leave you because I have a meeting now. So you can either do number 4 or not. We stretched it when we did the bridges, but if you feel you need to do, you can. So nice work, everyone. Inshallah, I'll see you Friday.
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mina. Bye.